Okay, wow. Some of these articles you guys have been sending in lately about big tech.
Yeah.
Seriously, interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's a wild time right now. Kind of feels like things are shifting, doesn't it?
Big time. Everyone's asking, are the giants about to take a tumble? Well, that's our deep dive today. We're going to dig into all this and see if we can't unpack what's really going on.
Should be fun.
Totally. So we're talking Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta. The heavy hitters, right. But here's the thing. We're not just talking about some abstract decline. We're talking lawsuits. We're talking about those growth numbers that suddenly don't look so hot. And get this, some serious new players are stepping onto the field.
I know, right? It's kind of exciting.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this all plays out. Okay, let's jump right in. One of the articles you sent mentioned Google, and let's be real, is there a week that goes by without another antitrust lawsuit?
Feels like it, right?
Right. But what's interesting is it's not even about breaking them up anymore. It's about whether all these legal battles are actually stifling innovation. They're spending so much time and energy in court. Are they even able to focus on creating the next big thing? What do you think?
Well, and here's the thing. It all ties into this bigger trend, right? This erosion of public trust. And I don't just mean data privacy, though that's definitely a part of it.
It's bigger than that.
Exactly. It's this feeling people have like, do these companies even care about us? Do they have our best interests in mind?
And that's not a question a company like Google wants to be asking.
Definitely not. And speaking of struggling with perception, we got to talk about Meta. Remember all that hype about the metaverse?
Oh, yeah, everyone was talking about it.
Right. Well, turns out not so much profit in virtual reality, at least not yet. I was looking at a report earlier, and their Reality Labs division, another $3.7 billion in losses last quarter.
Ouch. For real.
Yeah, makes you wonder, are they chasing a dream that's just not going to happen?
It's a risky bet, that's for sure. But, even Amazon, the company that seems to defy all odds, even they aren't immune to this. There was a study you sent over, and it showed their e-commerce growth slowed way down.
Like way down.
Like 4%, which, okay, for most companies, that's a win. But for Amazon, the everything store.
Makes you wonder.
Right. Is this it? Have we hit peak online shopping? Or is it a blip? What do you think?
I think it's definitely something to watch. And it's not just about consumer habits changing either. I mean, the whole regulatory landscape is different now than it was even a couple of years ago. Governments are cracking down left and right, stricter rules about data privacy, all the antitrust stuff we were talking about.
And moderation.
Right. And big tech, they can't just throw money at the problem and make it go away anymore.
And more easy answers.
Nope. This is the new reality, and some of these companies, the way they're structured, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can adapt.
And that's where things get really, really interesting. Because it's not just about big tech's struggles, right? It's about who's ready to take their place, who's waiting in the wings to, capitalize on any missteps.
The up-and-comers.
Exactly. And what's cool is it's not just one giant killer. It's more like, well, I was reading about this company, Perspectify AI.
AI. Yeah, that's a hot space right now.
Totally. So Perspectify, they use AI to, get this, analyze legal documents. They can predict how lawsuits will turn out. They're going head-to-head with some pretty big legal tech companies.
Yep.
And they're not afraid to, poke at the weaknesses of the big guys.
I like them already.
Right. But it's even bigger than that. There's a whole global power shift happening. You sent over that report about companies like Tencent and Alibaba.
Oh, yeah. Fascinating stuff.
Right. Chinese tech companies coming on strong. They're expanding internationally like crazy, and they're bringing a whole different perspective, a whole different way of doing things. It's not just a Silicon Valley game anymore.
It's a global game now. And that's actually a really, really important point, because this isn't just history repeating itself. The technology that's driving all of this, it's different this time around. So many more possibilities for disruption. It's not even really a question of if big tech will fall,
It's more like when and how.
Exactly. And what happens to all of us, to the users, when they do?
Because, let's be real, we rely on these companies. Every day. We use their search engines, their platforms.
Social media.
We buy stuff online. Our digital lives, they're completely intertwined with these companies.
No doubt.
So if and when they stumble, we're all going to feel it. But there's a bright side.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
This shakeup, it could lead to some really incredible things. Because competition, it breeds innovation, right? Maybe this is just what we need to push things forward, to see some real groundbreaking technological advancements. Maybe these smaller companies, with their new ideas, maybe they're the ones who are going to change everything.
It's true. Sometimes a little disruption is a good thing. But ultimately, it comes down to this. Who gets to decide what the future looks like? For so long, it's been big tech calling the shots, but things are definitely changing. And that's not just a tech question, is it? It's about power. It's about who has the influence and what kind of world, what kind of digital world we all want to live in. What do you think? Big question, I know, but
Hmm.
what's your role in all of this? What role do all of us, the users, the everyday people, want to play in shaping that future?
Now, that is a question. Not a perfect note to end on, don't you think?
Yeah.
We started off looking at a few tech giants and a little bit of hot water,
Yeah.
and we ended up having like an existential crisis about the future. I love it. Seriously, though, great stuff. Thanks for bringing these articles to the table. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some serious thinking to do.